Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. So, here we are with the analysis or explanation of the first editorial of the Indian Express, August 10, 2023. So, let's see what we have here. Dil se, dimag se. Good. ऐसे कहते हैं alliteration. दिल से, दिमाग से alliteration हो सकता है और transliteration हो सकता है. Okay, I've mentioned another word here today. So, just read on this. What is transliteration? और जो सबसे पहले जवाब देगा उसको ग्रुप पे उसे मिलेगा एक चॉकलेट. So transliteration, you need to see, you need to understand and write in short. So reading. When Rahul Gandhi stood up to speak in Lok Sabha during the no confidence motion, his party has moved against the government. He was armed with a sense of vindication. Armed matlab arms ka matlab hota hai weapons. So he was armed with a sense of vindication. But kya tha ye vindication? Okay, and he had an opportunity. Gandhi has just been reinstated as MP after being disqualified in March on account of a Surat court's questionable conviction of him in 2019 case of defamation. Now, see, if we do not know the meaning of vindication, while reading, you can understand the word reinstated. Now, he has just been reinstated, and we have read about this, I think so, 2 days back only. राइट सो रीइंस्टेटेड मतलब फिर से उनको इंस्टेट किया. रीइंस्टेट मतलब फिर से वो आ गए एज एमपी, उनको पोजीशन दे दी तो उनको एमपी फिर से बनने दिया या ही केम बैक टू दैट पोजीशन ऑफ दैट एमपी. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? He had been earlier disqualified, right? And he had been, there was a questionable conviction raised by the Surat court, right? तो अब सोचो, conviction, reinstate, he had been disqualified, but now he is back. So is a sense of vindication. तो vindication का meaning समझ में आ जाता है हमें कि उन्हें blame से या charge से हटा दिया गया, बरी कर दिया. इसका मतलब acquitted. Right? Now, acquit is a word that we have discussed in, yes, all the classes. I've discussed in all the classes where I've been taking vocabulary, and this is a word absolve, exonerate, exculpate. ये तुमने सुना हुआ है सब. So here we get to understand. Now, the Supreme Court stayed the conviction last week. Yes, we read about this also. After asking hard questions of the trial court, which had not given reasons for awarding Gandhi the maximum sentence, and of the High Court, which had rejected his application to stay the conviction. इसका मतलब ट्रायल कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट दोनों पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्वेश्चन किया कि तुम ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो, or give a proper logical reason for it. They were unable to provide that. So, having made a comeback to the House, Gandhi was now going to lead his party's charge and ask questions of the government. What? This government, arguably more than other governments, evades answerability, and this has been especially evident in Parliament on Manipur. Where the crisis goes on, the ethnic violence has not died down. Right? So, if this crisis is continuing, so raising a no confidence motion, he had the chance now to ask questions to the government. What about all these things going on? So Gandhi, moreover, has been to Manipur and has seen and heard firsthand its distress and tribulations. In the event in Lok Sabha on Wednesday, when Gandhi sat down after an intervention that lasted for nearly 40 minutes, there was a strong sense that an important opportunity had been missed. ये रहा author का first point, that Mr. Gandhi missed the opportunity. ठीक है, 40 minutes का उन्होंने बात की. He spoke. He had reasons enough that what he is going to speak should be strengthening his point. He could have applied prep, yes. ठीक है, उसके पास pointers थे. Reasoning नहीं दे सके. Examples irrelevant हुए. अभी we'll see in the next paragraph also. Right? According to the author, Mr. Rahul Gandhi missed his chance. He had an opportunity, he did not grab it. So Gandhi began by recounting his experience of his 130-day Bharat Jodo Yatra. It taught him, he said, to listen to the Aam Aadmi. Bharat ek awaaz hai, India is a voice. He said evocatively, and to listen, you have to set aside your arrogance or ahankar and nafrat or hate. Then he came to Manipur and recalled his visit to the relief camps in that state. At this point, those listening to him, ठीक है तो एट दिस पॉइंट दोज लिसनिंग टू हिम मतलब यहां तक तो उन्होंने कहा क्योंकि व्हाट ऑल डिड ही मेंशन तो ये एक फैक्ट हो गया कि उन्होंने क्या क्या मेंशन किया था ठीक है उसके बाद ऑथर अपना व्यू दे रहे हैं कि जो लोग सुन रहे थे दे एक्सपेक्टेड Gandhi to carefully find the words and images to communicate the enormity and detail of the crisis in the northeastern state and to help frame the sharp and pointed questions that the government must be pinned down and made to answer. पिन डाउन का मीनिंग नहीं समझ में आता है ओके फाइन नो प्रॉब्लम मेड टू आंसर तो समझ में आता है ना कि किसी और से जवाब निकलवाना या करवाना राइट दे वर मेड टू आंसर मतलब जवाब तो देना ही है सो दिस पार्ट दीज टू पॉइंट्स these four lines here are giving you what according to the author was expected this should have come. Now because the search for justice and accountability in Manipur demands nothing less from the opposition leader, especially one whose refrain is the need to listen and how it can be part of the process of healing. Whose refrain मतलब बार बार वो चीज को दोहराना ठीक है उसे कहना दैट इज कॉल्ड अ रिफ्रेन राइट रिपीटिशन ये भी होता है रिफ्रेन कई बार ये पोएम्स में यूज होता है so especially one whose refrain is the need to listen and how it can be part of the process of healing. Disappointingly, what they heard and what they watched instead was Gandhi spiraling precipitously into a plague on all your houses name calling. राइट अब यहाँ से समझ में आ जाता है कि जो उसको सुनने वाले थे जो उनकी ऑडियंस थी what they wanted because they had raised that no confidence motion then they should have come up with the leader of the opposition should have come up with something very stark something very concrete right but then the people were disappointed because Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not come up with anything of that sort. So what they heard and what they watched instead was Gandhi spiraling. Spiraling का मतलब क्या होता है ऐसे गोल गोल स्पाइरल जैसे निकलना राइट so now either you can go upward or you would go down so he was precipitously showing you how he was spiraling so it was a downward action into a plague on all your houses name calling and from the dramatic इन्होंने मणिपुर में हिंदुस्तान की हत्या की है they have murdered India in Manipur now this sentence could be said as hyperbole right so we get this word many a times in as an option right in the figures of speech so इसमें hyperbole मतलब किसी एक छोटी सी बात को इतना enormous इतना extensive बना देना right so which is like out of or beyond limits only so now when it says they have murdered India in Manipur becomes an example of it to dredging up a parallel from the story of Ravan in Ramayana. Dredging up a parallel का मतलब होता है similar, on the same lines, right? So जो इन्होंने यहाँ पर किया मणिपुर में वैसा ही रावण उसमें रामायण में कुछ हुआ था, right? So what is he doing? He's dredging up. Dredging up is मतलब कुछ बड़े है पुराना और उसे निकाल देना वापस. So he's coming up with that lateral. Calling out traitors. So Gandhi's accusations of political abdication could at best be described as plain anguish. So this is what Gandhi was expected to do. He started. Now understand the organization of the whole paragraph. Right. The first four lines is what he stated, how he started. Next four lines, what was expected. Right. And then next this was expected only, then what he actually did, right? And then the example, what he used. And then the last becomes the author's point, right? This could at best be described as plain anguish. तो और को जो होना चाहिए था वो नहीं हुआ So it was what it was reflecting was only suffering and anguish, nothing else. Now, in their sheer undifferentiatedness and unspecificness, they were in fact self indulgent and opaque. In the context of Manipur, they amounted to a moment lost by the opposition, which is also an abdication. Abdication का मतलब होता है renounce कर देना, छोड़ देना, right? So, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, वो जो एक मोमेंट था उसे छोड़ दिया, so they lost that moment. Abdication would be like renouncing. Now, in the first part of his speech, Gandhi had said that he would speak dimag se nahi dil se, not with the head but from the heart. So it had seemed, again you can see what the thought process of the author is, कि what was being expected, कि मिस्टर राहुल गांधी की स्पीच क्या होनी चाहिए थी, उनको क्या बोलना चाहिए था, उनको मौका मिला था इतना बढ़िया, but then it was not up to the mark, it was not up to the expectations, and hence it seemed as a golden opportunity lost for him. So it had seemed then to be a promise of plain speaking, saying it like it is. So जो बोलना था मतलब it should have come directly from the heart then. If he said that he is not going to speak दिमाग से, he is going to use the heart, तो फिर जो दिल में है वो बोल देना चाहिए था clearly without wrapping it up in so many things. So what better example than Manipur to use the Bharat Jodo prism to help shine light on the failure of the government? But as it turns out, again in this sentence he says, what a better example ka matlab, ki this was a golden chance for him. But again a contrasting word. As it turns out, it was almost as if Gandhi knew he was going to let himself and his side down. It seems he had started his speech with a confession. अगर वो डेटा दे देते, ठीक है, अगर आपने बाकी के मतलब नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन के टाइम पे इफ यू हैव हर्ड the speech given by Mr. Amit Shah or by any other person, uh, so everything based on data, right? So if it is based on data, this was what was expected of Mr. Rahul Gandhi also, to state something clearly, what is happening and what is expected. तो वो गवर्नमेंट फिर जवाब देंगी उनका. Fine, but he did not do so and he missed the chance. That is what the author's point of view is. Right, so let us see the main ideas now. So Rahul Gandhi's speech was a missed chance, very clearly reflected in the paragraphs. Invoking Ravan, calling rivals traitors. ठीक है, ये उनका एग्जाम्पल था जो उन्होंने यूज किया, मतलब उनको जो चांस मिली थी, they did not make complete or full usage of it and went on to the trivialities. So it isn't holding government accountable. So he should have questioned the government very strongly, vehemently, and made the government accept something or state something. "Okay, now, from now on, this is going to happen," or fine, but nothing of the sort happened. So that is again the main point of the author. Considering the vocabulary, let's see what we have today. So I've come up with at least 2 or 3 synonyms of it so that it will be easy for you to note down also. So vindication ke liye justification, exoneration, exculpation. And if you remember the word, we had come up with the word acquit. Right? So acquittal ho jata hai iska meaning, or then absolve hota hai. This was a simple word that I had asked you, if most of you remember that. सो इंटरवेंशन, इंटरवीन हमने कल भी किया था जब हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट वाला कोई आर्टिकल किया था, आई थिंक सो 2 days बैक इट वाज. तो इंटर वी हैव दिस prefix, and went or we also we have as a root word, so that is mediation, interpolation and intercession. So those who have been doing the words with inter recently, you can write down these 2 words. Right, enormity, enormous हो जाता है, that is being huge. एक monstrous होना, enormous होना, huge, elephantine, gigantic, ये सारे words होते हैं. लेकिन enormity of the situation would mean the gravity, the seriousness, right? कितना उस पे ध्यान देना ज्यादा जरूरी है, तो you can understand the gravity of the situation or gravity of the matter. कितना serious है, that is how. Right, pinned down is to make someone take a decisive step. That is what we did also. Refrain के 2 मीनिंग्स है. एक exhortation, that is urging, right? That is similar to being persuasive. And while it is persuasive, you can understand the word repetitive also, because repetitive will be similar to being persuasive. Okay? And this is from एक ये भी आता है refrain. Repetitive use होता है poems में, what I said earlier. और refrain का meaning, refrain from मतलब desist from, कि उससे दूर रहना, नहीं करना. ये भी उसके multiple usages हैं. Precipitous यानी ऐसी खाई होती है एकदम से नीचे की तरफ जाने वाला, तो it is one swiftly. Precipitated could be as a result, as a consequence also it is used. And hastily मतलब एकदम जल्दी में पर गिरना, right? तो वो precipitous हो जाता है. Dredging up is to mention things that occurred long back. Abdication में abdicate word we have done. So relinquish, renunciation और abandonment, छोड़ देना, renounce कर देना. Anguish is torment, pain, suffering, distress. Whatever simple word है वो मत मतलब जिसको नहीं आता वो simple words लिखेंगे, और जिसको आता है anguish तो फिर वो torment और distress लिख सकते हैं. Right? So that's all in the vocabulary part today and here. So thank you and all the best for your coming tests, and stay logical and have a very logical day ahead.